Hello everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to do this video thing because I just did the whole thing and it was on photo, not video. So I'm not gonna make that mistake again because I'm exhausted. Today was a good day. I had my first shower in 6 days. Chris was probably sick of me and first walk outside, and so I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna do this video real quick and then lay down, and I get out of breath easily, so that's what this is. But I just wanted to do a video on the day of the surgery and things that I didn't know that I think were really interesting and gave me comfort. And then the next video I'll do on the 5.5 days in the hospital, and some things that happened, but also some things that I didn't know about that might help somebody. So I made some notes and to stay on target. I'm trying to get off pain meds. I'm only on Tylenol 3 and Robaxin, which is a muscle relaxer. I'm not getting off that. And Tramadol. So one thing they tell you is if you are a weightlifter, you have muscle mass, which I have a lot of, then you'll have a harder time with the surgery sometimes with the muscle spasms, and I have had that. So I think that's probably been the main thing. You do have back pain back there, but I'll go more into that in another video. So the day of the surgery, I got there about 6, and I don't know when I went into surgery. I think maybe 9 or 9:30, and then I was in the recovery room at 5:30, and I got to the room at 8:30. So a really long day. So the setup, the thing that they do tell you about setting you up for surgery was awesome. I loved hearing about it. But your body is laying in, a prone position. Well, you're actually like this the first 3 hours when they go in the front, because I had an A-lift, an anterior lumbar inner body fusion, and then I had a posterior. And so if you can imagine, if you're in a certain position for so many hours, the pressure is going to, give you bruising. It can give you necrosis and things like that. And so they do a lot of work all throughout the surgery to prevent that from happening. They use a lot of the memory foam, and they have all these different supports and cushions. They're constantly moving underneath you. They're constantly moving your body. So I think it was the anesthesiologist told me, sometimes they're moving your arms up and down like this or over to the side, or all of these kind of things. And then they also monitor your nerves, and so you have electrodes on your wrist and hand, feet, in your head, because they have little needles, I think, and probably all kinds of other places in your body, and they're monitoring numbness or loss of feeling, because as you can imagine, if you're in one position for a long period of time, you might lose circulation. You can wake up and not have feeling in your shoulders or your arms or something like that for a period of time, so they try to prevent all of that. And the nerve monitoring is also for your compression, the nerves in your back that are compressed, so they're monitoring all of that. And so that was a great comfort for me, because I don't know, for some reason I kept thinking, man, they're gonna be like stretching my nerves and like shoving them out of the way and they're gonna be all messed up whenever I wake up. And I was anticipating, a lot of nerve pain and things like that just from that. And maybe they do that, but they keep an eye on it. And even Dr. Sear had told my husband that there was one that was majorly compressed, and they saw it light up whenever he released it. So, like it woke up. So they do all of that while you're having the surgery. And then you have a IV line and a central line. And so that's where the central line was. Looks terrible, but it's not bad. And that's so they can get medicine in you fast and close to your heart if they need to. And so you want that. and then you have your IV line there. And so the procedure itself, I had an anterior first, so you're laying like this, and they cut through your abdomen, which mine goes above my belly button and down, and then they cut through the fascia that is over the abdominal muscles, and they move your intestines out of the way very carefully, because they can put your intestines to sleep, and you don't want that. And then your aorta lays directly on top of your spine, so it can actually adhere to your spine from scar tissue and things like that. If you've had previous surgeries or whatever, they have to be super careful with that. And the vascular surgeon said it was like peeling a label off of something sometimes, but they have to be really careful. So they do all of that, and then Dr. Sear will go in, and that way he can see the nerve, or not the nerve, the disc height, clean everything out, and really gauge how perfect he needs to make the discs and the disc height in there. And he uses cadaver tissue, which is great, because he doesn't like synthetic, and so we're both believe in the natural way. But it puts all of that in, and then they close you up, and it takes a considerable amount of time to do that, turn you over, you know, get you all cushioned up and positioned, and move all these tubes and everything that are connected to you. And then they open you up in the back, and that's when they go in and they put in all the plates and the screws. And he said he even uses it's amniotic like patches to promote growth, and he puts that everywhere. He puts it in the front and the back. He was trying to explain that to me. Honestly, he goes into a lot of detail, Dr. Sear, and he's done it with me probably 3 times, and I still don't remember everything he said he was doing. It's a lot, but he puts a lot of extra bone in there, even on the sides where there's little bony parts there, just to really fuse this. I mean, I have a S1 all the way to L3, the S1 being the hardest to fuse, they tell me. So, you know, he makes sure he tries to build everything in there that you're not gonna have to go back, and I do not want to go back and do this. So when you wake up, you're with a pain pump, and I had a dilaudid pain pump, and I could push it every 10 minutes, and then they took it off the next day. And of course they were giving me a lot of medicine through here also, probably anti-nausea, and I don't even know what else. And, you know, to be honest with you, the dilaudid helped. I don't a lot of stuff during that time is kind of fuzzy, but I was in pain. So I was kind of thinking, wow, you know, you're gonna be on morphine, you're dilaudid, and I'll just be like, oh, no. No, you're kind of like that, but you still feel the pain. You can manage it just fine, but it's still there because you've had a major operation. You also have a catheter, and you want that, and I'll go into more detail on that on the next video. But yeah, so then the next day they take the pain pump away, and you start the pills. And my doctor's very conservative on medication. Thank goodness. I don't like taking pills. People know me. I don't like them. I don't like it. I've taken Tylenol twice this year for a headache. But you want it. But anyway, so I'll go into more detail on all of that on the next video, because I'm going to do the next video on the days in the hospital. And so I really hope this helps someone and gives them, you know, details or information they didn't know. If you have any questions, shoot your questions to me, and I'll be happy to answer them. And until the next video, I'll see you later.